Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Night Terrors, First Blood and Night Terrors Batman, which also has a backstory on Damian Wayne. I'll now get things prepared for the first one that I'll be covering in the review. So, moving into first things first, we move into First Blood. And does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, but the overall rating I give it is a 6.5 out of 10. In other words, do I think it's a strong start cover-wise for Joshua Williamson to use this? Not completely. So now let's move into the internal art and also some of the things that is happening inside story-wise. So as we move into some of the art, or in the beginning, we get to meet up with the character of Dr. Destiny. As we start to move slowly towards the middle, we meet up with the character of Deadman, who is Boston Brand. And to those who also don't know, that one of the dead men in DC's history is also a son of Ra's al Ghul. Whether this one is, I don't think that he is. I think this is a completely new one that's been around for a little while longer. But just to let you know, there has been one that has been connected to Ra's al Ghul. As things advance in the story, we get the trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Of course, we also have Harley Quinn and a number of other characters turning up on the scene. Of course, we get Amanda Waller, who is also sending in one of her lackeys into the situation just to see what's happening. And of course, we get to see Batman and Deadman somewhat work together. We also get to see Insomnia taking control of one of the bodies of Dr. Destiny. And last but not least, towards the end of the story, to which we get a bit of an introduction into what is happening with Bruce Wayne, or with Bruce Wayne's character. And I want to point out something. You will see this again in the Batman issue, is that you do see Bruce Wayne's eyes as red. And this seems to carry over in the Batman issue. So for the internal art, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It felt like it was trying to go over the top in, like, trying to show a way over the top dark moment. Didn't quite felt like it worked. I think one thing that probably would have worked is if they maybe showed maybe some small snippets of light coming into it, but also how those snippets of light, in some places, some are a little bit wider, other bits are a little bit more smaller. And I think that would have actually come across better in the story. Moving into the area of the story, first things first, do we get any comic references? No, we don't. Next is the area of time. No indication of time at all in the story, and to which I feel it's going to be losing points. The locations that take place in the story, we have the Hall of Justice. We, of course, get some type of hospital area, which isn't really clearly shown or clearly pointed out that it is. And last but not least, we get to see Crime Alley, which again connects to the Bruce Wayne one, the Batman one. Moving into the cast of characters, we have John D, or Dr. Destiny. We have Deadman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller. And I do have some questions there in regards to Amanda Waller, but that won't come until after I cover the review for the Night Terror's Batman. We had Zatanna, Detective Chimp, Joker, Nightwing, the Titans, of course, Flash, and last but not least, Insomnia. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Night Terror's Batman. So, jumping into Night Terror's Batman. Does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence, it does, to which I give a 7 out of 10. About the only thing that's sort of like closest to what is sort of happening inside the story. Moving into the next thing, and that is the area of the first. We now look into the first area of the story, or the first story, which involves Bruce Wayne, and I'll also have a look at the internal art, and then I'll move into the racing. So as the story begins, we move into seeing the Rogues Gallery of Batman, and another thing too, we also have Bruce Wayne with Alfred in this. Of course, we delve a lot into the past, and then we jump to the present as to where Insomnia has taken Bruce Wayne. Now, I want to point out once again that we see this young Bruce Wayne, who does look and appear very much like a very young Damian Wayne, even though he's not. His eyes are actually red. And I think this is actually important in the story. We get to see a little bit more having to do with Bruce and him experiencing something with his mother's pearls in a somewhat Indiana Jones type moment, until of course he's brought into a theatre, to which we actually get to see the appearance of Insomnia. And we get to see some of the things that are happening on screen. We move a little bit more, and of course there's Deadman also trying to help out too. We delve deeper into one of his dreams, or this nightmare. And one of the things that he fears most, being left alone and without any form of family. And that also includes Alfred as well. Of course, we get to see Insomnia. We get to see him fighting basically the zombies in his nightmare. Him and Selina Kyle, who tries to use, or who is used sort of like as a way to subdue him, but we still see Bruce with these red eyes. Something like this is definitely inspired by some manga, the bringing up of a beast, but you see that this beast consists of a bat with a gun on it, and what it brings across to me is that without the gun, he wouldn't become the bat. And so we move a little bit further within the story. Things are happening. Bruce ends up making a change until we see him basically in Joe Chill, or dressed up as Joe Chill. I've got something that I need to bring up about that, but not until I complete the second story. So moving into the area of the story rating for this, for the art, I gave a 6.5 out of 10. Some of the things that this addressed was the time to which we had now, We did have the past then, but it wasn't really clear. The location, we had the Batcave, we had a graveyard. The cast of characters consisting of Batman, Joker, Scarecrow, Ivy, well, basically Batman's Rogues Gallery, including Alfred, and also some other Bat family members. For the overall story rating, I give a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the story around Damian Wayne, to which, as this story begins, we see Damian Wayne moving to a area which deals with the Master of Sleep and Dreams. And take note, Damian's present eyes are green. And of course, there's a reference to the Free Comic Book Day Night Terrors. So this seems to indicate that he managed to break out of the sleep that he was presently in, connected to the Free Comic Book Day's Night Terrors. We move into some of the things that has happened in that time period, and he discusses it with the Master. Then he gives him the time limit to basically defeat his defenders of this particular library that we're in. We see him move into the library, and we've got no indication as to how much time he spends in this library. But then again, we move into an area of importance to which we see Ra's al Ghul and Deadman, and he does ask a question in relation to it as to whose dream is this, or whose dream is this connected to. So is it a member of the Bat family, or is it connected to Ra's al Ghul? We do know that bats play a part in it, but is this possible that maybe it could be connected to a Deadman dream? Something we don't presently know in regards to what he's doing here. And so, of course, he does report in. And, of course, we learn that he's now setting a method to which he must stay awake at all costs. And so, of course, we get this interesting swell of purple here, almost like a storm. And Damian Wayne's eyes, just like his father's, are also red. Where in Damian's case, he is awake as well as sleeping, but in his father's case, he's asleep trying to wake up. So, moving into the next thing, and with this we did end up getting a comic reference to the Free Comic Book Day Night Terrors, as well as Night Terrors issue 3, which is an upcoming one, and we won't find out more until next month. I'm wondering if maybe it could be connecting to what is happening with Deadman. Maybe Deadman is actually seeking help through seeking help of Damian through his body, because he's gone to this particular library. Moving into the art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. The locations we got was a library in the desert. I'm not too sure whereabouts it was. The cast of characters consisting of Damian Wayne Robin, of course the Master of Sleep and Dreams. Some thoughts. Now, this is just something for afterwards. Could insomnia have a connection to Joe Chill just because of what happened with Bruce Wayne Batman and him appearing as Joe Chill? Is it possible that Insomnia himself could be Joe Chill? Or is Insomnia a new underworld boss that might have a connection to Joe Chill? So is this possibly meant to be a revenge against not only Batman, but also maybe is there going to be new law brought up here around Joe Chill? That he could have been working for a particular underworld boss, and now that this underworld boss is not happy. How does Waller fit into all this? And I'm wondering, what are her conditions of her deal that has been brought up recently? In one of, I think it was in the Free Comic Book Day of the dawn of the DC. And I'm wondering if her deal either has a connection to this, or it's something outside of this that she needs to keep an eye on. So obviously there has been some deal made, but for the overall story, for this second one, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.